Hi, I am Lacretia with the Latte Wellness Group, and I'm a marriage and family therapist intern. Today, I am here with PaulineJo, and she is going to talk with us about something that is of interest to her in reference to her work as a therapist here as well. Pauline, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is PaulineJo Adia. I'm a licensed master social worker slash licensed therapist here with Larty Wellness Group. I've been here for about 2 years. And interestingly, what really drew me to apply to Larty back in 2021 was learning that we provide a lot of services to clients who are immigrants. So whether they are citizens or they happen to be going through the citizenship process or they're undocumented, it's a topic that I'm really passionate about. And so I really wanted to apply, and then I got the job.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So can you tell me, what is your experience with working with clients who are immigrants since you have gotten this job and you've joined our team?
Most definitely. So I would say prior to my work here at Larty, I actually did not have a lot of experience with the immigrant population.
Okay.
And so I really wanted to challenge myself. I find it really important, not only as a therapist, but as a social worker, that I immerse myself in different populations with different walks of life and different challenges. And so as I've been working here, my caseload has grown, and I would say maybe 60 to 70% are actually of some type of immigrant status, whether they're first generation immigrant, which means they immigrated here, or second immigration, which means second generation immigrant, my apologies, which means their parents immigrated here first. And so you really see the impacts of immigration, whether that be by way of just how diversity works in our country or how our policies impact our clients' overall way of living and how they see the world, and really what they're here for, right, is for their mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, that's powerful. Yeah, I think that there's a difference between, whether you're a first generation immigrant or a second, because I feel like the experiences vary wildly in terms of what the first generation's gone through versus the second. And the clients that you've seen so far, what generation were they?
Great question. I would say there are more so second generation immigrants, or even 1.5. So 1.5 actually isn't spoken about a lot, but 1.5 obviously is between 1 and 2, meaning that they were a child when they immigrated here, but they were born in their country of origin. So they actually got a taste of both cultures. Now, granted, you could be a certain culture here in the US and get the taste of your parents' culture, but it's different to have been born there, have memories there, and then to go through that immigration process, whether there was a smooth process. Actually, most of the clients that I see have experienced some type of trauma. So when working with my clients of any type of immigrant population or immigrant families, I always try to have a trauma-informed lens as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's unfortunate that nowadays it doesn't matter what the population, what the age, the culture, there's trauma usually at the root of so many things. So can you tell me what types of traumas are specifically experienced by this population from what you've seen?
Most definitely. So I think there's a lot of systematic trauma that my clients of immigrant status or of immigrant family status experience. So systematic trauma can include like the way the system treats you at a macro, meso, or micro level. So you'll have clients who really have trouble at a young age feeling like they have to bear the weight of like living their life and growing up and trying to figure out how to grow up while also trying to like help their parents and their status and their issues, right? Which can often lead them to feel depressed or very anxious or feel very like at times hopeless, just depending on the situation. Furthermore, about systematic trauma, it's very important that we really remember that person-centered lens that we try to have as therapists to really say, hey, okay, I know these kind of like generalizations, or, oh, I know that literature says this, but like, tell me specifically about like, what was it like to come here? What were your memories when you were first here, you know, to learn it, to possibly learn a new language, new community, new culture, learn about economics, education, and I like to use a lot of strengths-based work in certain situations with my clients. I'm going all over the place. I'm just so excited to talk. I'm just kind of going under that lens of the trauma and what I try to do to help that.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm totally here for it. I can see the need. I think that a lot of times when you've gone through some of the experiences that is especially specific to immigrants, you need to have your strength. You know, you need to be able to recognize that you lose all sense of it. I know there's this great idea for immigrants, or at least I know there used to be, that coming to this country is just, you know, it's going to be the best. It's going to be the most amazing experience. And a lot of times what I've seen when I meet immigrants in person, or when I, you know, see immigrants who are in the mental health, it's not that way. They've had really, really poor things happen. I'll never forget in college, my speech, I had to take speech and stand up and speak in front of people. And one of the most impactful and stories that I'll never forget came from a classmate who was an immigrant. And she said, you know, she did her speech and stood up in front of everyone and had the courage to tell us her story about coming here and saying, you know, you guys, if you were born here, you really need to be grateful. You should be grateful, because being born here, you know, it's a privilege, and it means you didn't have to experience what I experienced. When I came here, I came illegally with my family, and we were detained, and she was raped. The guards actually did this to her, the people who took her into containment. So it's like, just wanting to have a better quality of life. This is where she was at, and what the experience brought her trying to come to this great country. So it's kind of like my heart goes out, and I understand when we talk about, you know, the trauma-informed perspective with this population. I can see how it can certainly be a necessity. So Pauline, I love this. I love this topic. Tell me more. What tips would you have for anyone who is an immigrant that is trying to seek mental health, and they may have gone through some of these things, and they are just not sure what to do about if they should get into therapy or see someone about this?
I really appreciate that question, as I want to try to help get as many people in the door of any walk of life, right? Not just people who do experience that layer of immigration. But before I answer that, I just wanted to say that I really felt connected to what you were saying, in that, yeah, that is true, that it becomes very confusing for our clients who are of immigrant status in some way, because they are so guilted into like, oh, you have this privilege, yet they often face either their own traumas or or they hold the weight of the multi-generational trauma. So it's like great grandma, grandma, mother, and then you, or like you and your parents came here, or you, your parents and your grandparents came here. So it can often be so like heavy and compounding and very difficult to kind of untangle. So I just wanted to add that. So now moving back to your question about getting people, you know, in the door, and perhaps why clients of immigrant status would benefit from coming to therapy, is that my belief that I'm always saying to my own clients on my caseload, right, is we always have a body and we always have a mind, right?
Absolutely.
We may have other differences, but the mind and the body are still there. Your heart is still beating and your brain is still working. That's how you got to therapy, right? And so therefore, if we always have some type of medical, let's say, challenge or issue or concept to just keep up with, it's the same thing with our brain, right? We have so many different memories that can really impact our worldview, in how we act, in how we make relationships, how we are productive in society, right? And so I think that no matter how, you know, strong we are, right? And I know that that is such a interesting word in therapy, because I know clients are so jaded of hearing like, oh, I know I'm strong, right? But despite the strength and the resilience of either a person of color or a person of an immigrant status, right, we all have memories and we all have a brain that we need to use, and that we ultimately want to take care of in the same way that we want to take care of our body, right? A lot of, I guess, teachings teach where the mind and the body are actually separate, right? But then I've come to realize, like, we're not chickens running around with our head cut off, right? Our mind and body do get connected, or do get connected. Silly me, they are connected, right?
Yeah.
And so all that to say, I really think that immigrants are like no other, right? Of course, I would say the difference is, and I think that even our CEO does a great demonstration or model of it, is to try to be as culturally competent, to try to be as culturally sensitive, right? Absolutely. I know that's also a buzzword, like, oh, culturally competent, and we all have to do that in theory, right? But actually doing the work and actually trying to be sensitive and empathetic and really put ourselves in other people's shoes is a whole nother job that I think that Frank does a really great job in teaching his staff and supporting his staff in doing the hard work for our clients. Yes. In the end, it's worth it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That really spoke to me. I think that having the sensitivity to be able to cross that barrier, I guess, because when we look at the ethics codes and things that govern counseling, they say a part of our responsibility to our clients, regardless of demographic, is to be able to be culturally sensitive. So not just, you know, dealing with those in your inner community, but dealing with someone comes from a completely and totally different background, who grew up completely different way, making sure that because we have those differences or might have them, we still are able to reach and connect with our client and give them that understanding that is, you know, tailored to them and their experience. So yeah, I hear you. Wow, powerful topic. Really wish I could. I honestly, I know I could talk to you about this for forever, but I know you don't have forever. You're a busy therapist, and from what it sounds like, awesome therapist. So I'm really thankful to be able to get to know someone like you and work with someone like you on the team. And I just want to thank you for your time again, taking the time out of your busy day to talk with me about this. Maybe we can talk again in the future when your schedule is a little more maybe calm, if that happens. But thank you, and I'll let you go and enjoy your day.
Lacretia, I truly do appreciate you, and we don't get a lot of licensed marriage and family therapists, so I'll be sure to circle back and pick your brain a bit more. But I thank you for your energy and your commitment to helping us out with this project.
Yes, yes, no problem. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Take care. Bye.